Good morning. It is Sunday, the 31st of January, and this is the Bitcoin briefing. Bitcoin currently sits at $33,800, which is about $4,000 down from the pump a couple of days ago after Elon Musk changed his Twitter bio to Bitcoin and said in the end it was inevitable. We will, of course, cover this story in the second half of the show. But first, let's get into our main story of the day, which is Visa announcing that it is going to start offering support for cryptocurrencies. The announcement was made on a first quarterly earnings call. And let's listen to it. The voice you're about to hear is Mike Milotic, who's the Senior Vice President of Investor Relations at Visa.
There's a growing interest in digital currencies, and I wanted to take a minute to talk about how Visa thinks about crypto in general and our approach. In this space, we see ways that we can add differentiated value to the ecosystem, and we believe that we are uniquely positioned to help make cryptocurrencies more safe, useful, and applicable for payments through our global presence, our partnership approach, and our trusted brand.
Mike, I'd like to let you know that, Visa and MasterCard and all of you companies are more than welcome to come to Bitcoin and build on top of it. That would be wonderful. But please don't kid yourself that we need you guys here to make the environment safer for us. The real reason why you're moving into this space is because you can see that you need to accumulate Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and you're going to do that with this new this new business model that you've got. And unless Visa are going to start offering some kind of insurance service that they do on their credit cards with Bitcoin, then I can't really see how it's going to make it much safer. What this really represents, again, just like PayPal, is a large company that is coming into the market. They're allowing you to hold cryptocurrencies in their custodial accounts, and then using that, you're going to be able to use your card as you would normally do, and then it's going to just credit and debit the holdings of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies that you've got. Now, this is not the right way to do Bitcoin or crypto, but again, it probably is a good thing for the market in the short term. You are not going to allow people to withdraw their own cryptocurrencies, but rather use that as a kind of reserve asset in a wallet that they control the keys of, and then you're going to be able to use your card as you would do with a normal fiat card, and then presumably the balance is going to be updated. But you don't really own those coins, as we all know. If it's not your keys, it's not your coins, and whether or not you're Bitcoin with PayPal or Visa or any of these other companies, really they're tokens against cash in the future that may fluctuate. Unless your coins are in your own wallet, then they're not really yours. Nevertheless, this is a good thing for the market because the more established companies, and Visa certainly does have a huge, massive payment network. This can only be a good thing for the community, though it does bring up some challenges with interference and who knows, they could be lobbying and pushing for different regulation and other annoying and nefarious and interfering and stuff that they do. Let's move on to the next part of the call, where Visa differentiate the two different sides of the crypto market, where they're calling any cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ripple, anything like that, they're calling digital gold, and then they have the another side, which is the stable coins. Now, the reason why I think this guy has specifically said that the cryptocurrency assets are digital gold is not because he's trying to validate it, but because and as he says, they're used as an asset that people hold and not trade. Because of course, if we don't trade them, then we would need somebody to do the trading side, and somebody has to come in and be the medium of exchange. And surprise, surprise, that's exactly what Visa does. So they're setting their flag in. They're pitching a flag in the crypto space, but they're coming from, and it's quite a clever point of view, that because Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are just a store of value and not a medium of exchange, that we will of course need Visa to build on top and turn these static assets, which of course they're not, these static assets into something more liquid and can be used on a day-to-day basis. Holding Bitcoin and buying stuff with Visa and then letting Visa, manage your own ledger is not Bitcoining at all. And it's exactly the same with PayPal. But we are still pretty early in this space, and if these large organizations like PayPal and Visa, presumably MasterCard in the future, want to start coming here, then I guess it is a great way for entry-level, low-information users, people who are using Bitcoin for the first time. Maybe you've got a PayPal account and a Visa card, and they think, oh, I might buy some Bitcoin, and then they get into the space. They're sort of edging around the rabbit hole of Bitcoin, and inevitably they fall in and stop using these legacy companies. Okay, let's carry on.
We think of the crypto market in two segments. First, there are cryptocurrencies that represent new assets, such as Bitcoin. Second, there are digital currencies or stable coins that are directly backed by existing fiat currencies. We see all currencies in that first segment as digital gold. They are predominantly held as assets and are not used as a form of payment in a significant way at this point. Our strategy here is to work with wallets and exchanges to enable users to purchase these currencies using their Visa credentials, or to cash out onto a Visa credential to make a fiat purchase at any of the 70 million merchants where Visa is accepted globally. This is similar to our approach to connect closed-loop wallets such as Line Pay and Paytm. For the second segment, fiat-backed digital currencies, including stablecoins and central bank digital currencies, these are an emerging payments innovation that could have the potential to be used for global commerce, much like any other fiat currency. We think of digital currencies running on public blockchains as additional networks, just like RTP or ACH networks, so we see them as part of our network of network strategy.
It's very, very interesting how they have sort of cut and diced the crypto market between the store of value on the one hand with Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, and then on the other hand, the medium of exchange, which is the stable coins, obviously backed by other assets, and kind of put themselves right in the middle of that, and said that people want to use these, but to use these you need Visa, and then for all of the global payment revolution really that you might have thought Bitcoin was for, no. Actually, it's going to be these regulated stable coins, and we're going to use them just like our original RTP and ACH payment networks. So, I mean, it's clever. It's also quite transparent. Now, Visa are not the first, of course, big company that are trying to fuse their, like a physical payment card with Bitcoin. We've had BlockFi and Bitpanda and Crypto.com. 10x tried to do it. This is not new innovation really, but I guess it's a kind of step in the right direction towards adoption. But it's just so funny to see these huge companies that their world has been rocked right now by cryptocurrencies, and any of them that have got any vision can see that over the next 10 years, retail banking, Visa and MasterCard, any of these Western Union, they're all finished if they don't do something, and this is what they're trying to do. They're building the mini disc player before MP3s come out. They're like Toyota and other firms building hybrid cars while Elon's building Tesla. It's slow steps in the right direction, I guess, but I just think it's going to be too late. I mean, that's quite exciting, isn't it, really? I mean, it's inevitable that they were going to come to the party. It's just such a shame that they've spent years and years trashing the space, and now when they do come, they think they know best and are here to protect us. Thanks, Visa. Okay, so let's move on to our next story of the day, which is Elon Musk pumping Bitcoin from the low $30,000 to nearly 40K before it corrected a little bit back down to where we are now. Now, it would be easy to say that the only reason why the Bitcoin price pumped was because Elon posted this, changing his bio to Bitcoin and then posting a tweet. In the end, it would be inevitable. That, Elon is a rock star, really. We all know he's sitting on a huge amount of cash. Many of us are waiting for him to do a Michael Saylor and put some of his balance sheet into Bitcoin. But that's maybe a half or three-quarters of the reason for the pump. We also have to remember, as we covered in the last couple of days, there's been this huge war among retail investors against financiers who are shorting assets, such as GME, AMC, BlackBerry. Silver has been possibly targeted as another one of these short squeezes. And for those of you who have been following Elon and Tesla, Elon hates short sellers because they've been constantly dogging his stock, undermining him, spreading FUD, and doing anything they can to try and make the Tesla shares fall. And this was even before the Tesla shares started just rocketing up a few years ago. Now, it's important to point out that this pump was relatively short-lived. A huge amount of shorts were wiped out, but we went up to 38,000 and we're back now to 34,800. So there was a bit of a dump after the spike, but really that's irrelevant. What is important is that we're getting very close to this tipping point, and I think Elon Musk will be the tipping point when he does the same as Michael Saylor and moves some of his balance sheet into Bitcoin. Okay, so if we have a look at this balance sheet, and we'll take 2019 because the data for 2020 isn't available yet, but in 2019 he had $6 billion, or Tesla at least had $6 billion. And what's really important is a working capital of 1.4 billion. Working capital, of course, is essentially what's left over if you would just sell and liquidate everything that you own. So there's a fair amount of working capital in the company. Michael Saylor, when he bought his first round of Bitcoin, I think he bought 500 million's worth, and then went on to use loans and bonds and other things to buy the other $500 million. He may even have more than that now. So Elon wouldn't need to borrow anything. He could, going by, if he has the same amount of money now as he did in 2019, and it's likely he's got more, he would only need to convert half or even a third of that to have more of an initial investment than Michael Saylor did. And I think obviously Tesla's ability to raise capital, and if they wanted to do that, is probably infinite. Is probably infinite at this point. But the real benefit for us as a community is not him buying $500 million or $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. Michael Saylor, as he said, he did it over a period of time with slow and methodical and coordinated buys. He did not move the market at all, at least he claims when he bought that. So it's not to say that if Elon was suddenly to start buying up a lot of Bitcoin, the price would increase. There are a lot of people selling at the moment in the market. It's not about that. It's more about confidence, and when you start seeing that one of the most progressive and technically forward-thinking and successful companies in the world, like Tesla, it is going to be one of the biggest companies in the world. It's so much bigger than just a car company. It makes almost as much money from software and other things as it does from actual automobiles. It's a future behemoth, and for them, and certainly for Elon, the contrarian, to put his faith in, or maybe you could even rephrase that, not put your faith in Bitcoin, but take your faith away from cash. It is huge, and this is exactly what could cause a landslide and be that tipping point for companies. More and more companies saying, actually, hang on, we need to have a Bitcoin strategy, and we need to move some of our balance sheet into Bitcoin, because you do not want to be the last company to make the decision. You've been burying your head in the sand for years, saying that you hate Bitcoin, you're never going to do it, while all of your competition are starting to move or convert part of their balance sheets into the currency, and then you're left with cash, and Bitcoin's $10 million. You're just done at that point. You can't keep up. You've lost your competitive edge. All right, so this is the Bitcoin briefing, and we'll have more news for you tomorrow. If you like this content, please consider giving it a like and a subscribe. It's a new channel, and I'd really appreciate the support. So thanks for that.